He was the king of rock and roll, a cultural icon, a voice that changed music forever. But on August 16, 1977, the world lost Elvis Presley, and the legend began.
Going through a party in the county jail. The prison band was there, they began to
It was a hot summer day in Memphis, Tennessee. Elvis was at home in Graceland preparing for another tour. He had recently returned from a dentist appointment and spent much of the evening reading and talking with his fiancée, Ginger Alden. In the early hours of the morning, Elvis went into his bathroom. Hours later, he was found unresponsive on the floor. Efforts to revive him failed. At 3:30 p.m., Elvis Presley was officially pronounced dead at Baptist Memorial Hospital. The cause of death was initially listed as heart failure. However, controversy soon followed. Toxicology reports revealed a combination of prescription drugs in his system, a fact that fueled decades of debate about the true cause of his untimely death.
The autopsy cited cardiac arrhythmia, likely brought on by years of drug use. Toxicology later revealed a cocktail of narcotics in his system.
But not everyone bought the official story. Almost immediately, rumors began to swirl. Some fans claimed to have seen Elvis alive, at a gas station, a supermarket, even working as a groundskeeper at Graceland.
The fans are reported gathered around his palatial mansion, the Memphis telephone company.
The body in the casket sparked more questions. Witnesses described Elvis's appearance as wax-like. Some said it looked like a mannequin. Others noted the name on his gravestone was misspelled, Aaron, instead of his true middle name, Aaron. But the bigger question remains, if Elvis did fake his death, why? There are several theories. Escape from fame. Elvis was trapped. Constant touring, pressure from his manager, and the suffocating life of a superstar may have driven him to the edge. Faking his death would have been the only way out. Health problems. With his declining health, Elvis may have wanted to avoid a public spiral. Rather than die on stage or in front of cameras, perhaps he staged his death to live quietly in peace.
Come on, everybody, and clap your hands real loud.
The Mafia connection. This is the wildest theory, but some claim Elvis was involved in a government operation against organized crime. According to this idea, Elvis had ties with the DEA as an informant. When his cover was blown, he had to enter witness protection.
I love my baby. I love my baby. I love my baby.
Each of these explanations has holes, of course, but each one also keeps the conversation alive. Through the 1980s and 1990s, Elvis conspiracy theories exploded. Books were written, TV specials aired, and entire fan clubs formed around the idea that Elvis was alive.
Everybody in old cell block was dancing to the jailhouse rock.
One of the most well-known groups is called the Elvis Sighting Society. They collected stories, published newsletters, and held meetings all dedicated to proving the king was still with us. Even today, decades later, people continue to swear they've spotted him. Some point to unusual figures seen near Graceland. Others to recordings where a man with Elvis's voice supposedly calls into radio shows.
About 14 years ago, we met and we made a record. For the first time, 14 years ago, God.
At the end of the day, why does this conspiracy endure? Elvis wasn't just a musician, he was a cultural icon, larger than life. For many fans, it was simply too painful to accept that he was gone at 42. Believing he faked his death offers comfort. The idea that somewhere out there, the king is still alive, living a quiet, peaceful life away from the spotlight.
Shall I stay?
Theories thrive because of secrecy, and in Elvis's case, the sealed autopsy, the conflicting reports, and the strange sightings create the perfect storm. To understand the conspiracy, we need to rewind to Elvis's final days. By 1977, Elvis was a shell of his former self. The once skinny, hip-shaking superstar had gained significant weight. Years of prescription drug abuse had taken their toll.
The most important thing is the inspiration that I got from the live audience. I was missing that.
Friends described him as bloated, exhausted, and struggling to keep up with the grueling tour schedule his management kept pushing on him.
My baby left me. I found a new place to dwell.
But here's where things get interesting.
Longview, man, you name it, I've been there. No, really.
Despite his failing health, Elvis was planning big changes. He had upcoming shows booked, yes, but he was also reportedly making moves to fire his longtime manager, Colonel Tom Parker. Parker had been with Elvis for decades, but many say his influence was toxic, driving Elvis to exhaustion, controlling his career and bleeding him financially.
Oh, God.
If Elvis was truly planning to cut Parker out, that would have been a major shakeup. Some conspiracy theorists suggest that this decision alone gave powerful people a motive to silence him, or gave Elvis himself the motivation to escape. He never performed internationally. Despite his massive global fame, Elvis never toured outside the United States, except for a few shows in Canada in 1957. Many believe this was because of his manager, Colonel Tom Parker, who may have lacked a legal passport and didn't want to risk international travel. He had stage fright. Despite being one of the most famous performers of all time, Elvis occasionally suffered from stage fright. Before big shows, he sometimes grew nervous and restless. The first rock star Army veteran. When Elvis was drafted into the U.S. Army in 1958, he served for 2 years in Germany. Instead of seeking celebrity treatment, he lived like a regular soldier, which gained him public respect.
Subscribe to see more videos and have a wonderful day.